So if you have narrowed your search to a home in the west or south part of Houston, then there's probably a good chance you're looking at Katy or Sugarland or one of those areas in and around there. In this video, I am going to review some of the distinct differences between the two and why one might choose one over the other. So when I first began my search here, moving to the Houston suburbs, Sugarland and Katy were definitely on my radar as places to look. Katy for the top rated schools and Sugarland for all the reviews and awards I saw that it had won on the internet and these different forums and stuff. So today we're just going to kind of go through each and every little area and category and see which one is a better fit for you. Let's start with the look and feel of the two. As far as aesthetic and scenery goes, Sugarland to me has much more of that master plan community vibe to it. Just as a whole, most of the suburb areas and streets there have tree-lined sidewalks, fishing ponds, parks, and a ton of just manicured landscaping. Just a very suburban neighborhood vibe to me. Sugarland actually has the most master plan communities than any other suburban city in and around Houston at this time. Although I believe you will also see a lot of this in Katy as well, and there's a lot of similarities between the two, especially in the east neighborhoods like Cinco Ranch or the west part of Katy where there's still a lot of new development. You will see kind of the same idea, although I will say that I feel Katy is a bit more of a city feel, a little bit more developed like a city, and there is a lot more congestion and traffic than Sugarland, at least in my opinion. I also feel like Katy has a lot more variety in the neighborhoods and in the scenery. Location and job market. Something to note is that both of these suburban cities are overall pretty big. Obviously, Katy is in the west, Sugarland is more south. Geographically and population-wise, Katy is larger, although the city of Katy itself is relatively small. If you include Katy ISD, which is what most people refer to when talking to the Katy area, then Katy has a larger population and geographic area. Also, something to note is that Katy has room for what seems like infinite growth out west. Something to consider about Sugarland is that it is landlocked by Houston and Richmond and all these other suburban cities, so that the growth you see will be more of another city close to Sugarland. The pros of Katy's west location is the commute times and that it is closer to the energy corridor. For commute-wise, Sugarland is a much better location. It is closer to downtown Houston, the Galleria, the medical district, and our two Houston airports. Housing and affordability. This will obviously vary greatly. There are styles of homes and communities in both cities that will be great, ranging from condos to luxury estates. I will say though, at this time, you're probably going to have more options for affordability and new construction in the newer parts of Katy. And if you compare homes side by side with the square footage and the different things the house offers, I would say that Katy is more affordable. This is because Sugarland, again, is landlocked by Houston and Sanford and Missouri City and Richmond. Therefore, it doesn't have a lot of room to grow, and it is also closer to Houston and all the major sectors of Houston. So with that equals a higher price. Whereas Katy still has a lot of room for growth, especially more out west. As far as tax rates go, no doubt Katy has higher tax rates overall than Sugarland. However, just like most outer lying areas of Houston and newer developments and newer homes, you're more than likely going to be paying a little bit higher taxes for these homes than you would some other areas. It's always important to check the tax rate for whatever house and neighborhood you are looking at. Communities, both of these suburban areas have experienced substantial growth in the last few years. All in all though, if you are looking for a new home neighborhood with top-rated schools, then you're probably going to have better luck looking in Katy. If you are looking for a shorter commute time and still good rated schools and perhaps a more established home, then Sugarland would be a better option for you perhaps. Again, both of these cities have an abundance of beautiful, sought-after, established neighborhoods that have great school districts, schools. This and the commute times are probably some of the main deciding factors between the two suburban cities. Overall, both have great school districts, with Katy's school district overall ranking a bit higher than Sugarland. Just like any other city, each city has neighborhoods with highly rated schools and neighborhoods with lower rated schools. And some neighborhoods are split between a higher rated school and a lower rated school. I will say that if you are looking to live in a new home with a top rated school district, then Katy will have better options. If you are okay with an established neighborhood but still want those top rated schools, then Sugarland is a good option. If you are looking further west of Sugarland, then you're going to run into Lamar ISD, which is also a really great top-rated school district. Shopping and things to do. As far as shopping and food goes, to me personally, I feel Sugarland overall has more of a selection, and I love the First Colony Mall and just the general feel of Sugarland. Don't get me wrong, Katy has everything you will ever need and then some, and some really great shopping areas, especially around Cinco Ranch. But when it comes to shopping and eating overall, I say Sugarland is a better option and a better personal preference. So there you have it. These are some of the distinct differences between the two that I see. I would say if you are looking for highly rated schools, more affordable new homes, and don't mind a longer commute and traffic possibly, then Katy is a good option. If you are looking for shorter commute times, more shopping, and an abundance of established beautiful neighborhoods with top rated schools, then I would say Sugarland is a great option. If you live in one of these areas, please share down below what you think the differences are or why you chose to live where you live now. And if you are thinking of moving to the Houston area and curious about building a new home or living in one of these sought-after master plan communities, feel free to message me. I'd love to help you further your research. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.